Hello and welcome to our webinar on common mistakes in English. This series is dedicated to common mistakes in emails, and this is the third episode. And today we will focus on polite requests. The most important question we need to ask ourselves is how to find the right tone. Do we need to be very informal? Do we need to be formal? Or do we need to be direct? In the sentences below, we can see some examples of how people in direct cultures write to each other or speak with each other. Let's look at them. For example, your comments, please. Send me the report by Friday. Move the meeting to Monday. Your comments. Your feedback by Friday. What do you think about these statements? They do tend to be very direct, and in many cases, especially if we deal with cultures outside of Europe, they may be considered offensive. This brings us to the question of how we can find the right tone for our requests. Sometimes if we want a person to do something for us, we can say it in a direct way, like we saw on the previous slide, or an indirect way. And here we will learn how to say it in a more indirect and polite way. As you can see on the slide, we're using words highlighted in red, and these words are called modal verbs. Could, would, could, and would. And in this case, they make the sentences more hypothetical or more polite. We also try to turn our sentences into questions. So let's read them. Could you please send me your comments by Friday? We would appreciate it if you got back to us with this information as soon as possible. Would it be possible to reschedule our meeting? Could you please fill out the form attached below? Would it be a problem if we postponed the meeting? So, what we learned is that to make a sentence more polite and diplomatic, we need to use more modal verbs such as could and would. Sometimes it is hard to find the right tone because we're trying to be a little bit too polite. And if we take it a step further, it may sound a little bit sarcastic. And here are the examples of sentences where our extra politeness comes off as sarcasm. For example, could you be so kind as to send your comments by Friday? So kind as to, in this case, is a little bit too much. Could you kindly review my report by Friday? It really communicates that the person is upset and the person is waiting and has been waiting for a long time. Could you kindly contact us at your earliest convenience? Which means we're really upset at you and you should have contacted us a long time ago. Could you be so kind as to respond to my comments as soon as possible? Could you kindly pay the bill as soon as possible? All of these are examples when, while the wording is polite, the meaning that is hidden is a little bit sarcastic. And we try to avoid them when we try to communicate in a polite way. And here's our time to practice. Let's practice making polite sentences. We have 3 tasks. Ask to postpone a meeting. Ask for feedback by the end of the week. Ask for the latest report. Let's try to make these sentences polite requests. And here is the suggestion for the first one. Would it be possible to postpone the meeting until next week? So we're using the modal verb would. The second one is, could you please send me your feedback by the end of the week? Again, we're using the modal verb could. And would it be possible for you to send the latest report? Again, we're using the modal word would. All of these sentences, all 3 sentences are in the question form, and that makes it a little bit more polite. And I would like to thank you again for listening to our short webinar and ask you to please follow our series on common mistakes in English in the future. Thank you very much.